But I've reached a landmark in my journey that I feel like someone can get something out of by hearing it. So this time last year, I had taken the whole week off for my birthday. Now, usually the kids go back to school like the day of my birthday, so I take that week off to clean the house and reset and afford myself some time. So we went to Nag's Head and we went pier fishing, meaning me and my then partner, now roommate. We've been together for 17 years, but we're just roommates now, allowing each other to explore new opportunities because it's cheaper to live together in his mom's house than for me to go find a place to rent, because I live at the Outer Banks and rent is so inflated it's retarded. So anyways, we went pier fishing at Jeanette's Pier in Nag's Head, and we just rested and cleaned the house up because his birthday, mine's Friday this week and his is on Thursday. So anyway, we had bought tickets way back in May to go see Third Eye Blind and I think it was Collective Soul. I'm not sure. Anyway, I wanted to go see the one band and the roommate wanted to go see the other band. So we rolled a couple doobies. We went up to Virginia on Friday. The legality in Virginia is legal recreational use, and we were at the amphitheater, so we had a fucking blast at that concert. It was so much fun. My girlfriend showed up, and we were all together having a good time. We enjoyed both the bands. It was amazing. About the time that we left the amphitheater, I got a phone call from my daughter's ex-boyfriend's mom. You need to come and get your daughter. She's starting a bunch of shit, blah, blah, blah. I don't exactly remember the whole conversation, but I called Cy and I was like, what the hell? I'm getting this phone call that we need to get you, or they're calling the cops. Anyway, long story short, she was down in the park of our neighborhood, which, mind you, I was an hour away from home at this point. But she was in the park down in the neighborhood. A bunch of kids were fighting. She got involved in the fight. She left, and her friend Maria went over to Maria's house to continue to have their party. So anyway, at the same time, the 2 weeks prior to August the 25th, my son had decided that he was gonna run away from home, and he'd been gone for like 2 weeks. I had no freaking idea where he was at. We had just found out that he was at Cy's ex-boyfriend's house with his brother. So apparently this fight that happened, somebody got cut by a knife and required stitches, and my son was all up in his feelings about it. He was angry. He wanted to beat the shit out of his sister because it was the people that she was hanging out with that... Anyway, so I got dropped off at home to wait for Cy to get back to the house, and Adam took my car and went over to where my son was at. Now, this was already an incredibly hard, emotional week for me because I had made the choice daughter. Adam leaves. He goes to find the son. My mom was in town. Oh, yeah, my mom was in town also to help me move, if you didn't already get that. So, anyway, 2 o'clock in the morning rolls around, and Cy calls me, Mom, me and Maria got pulled over by the cops, and they need you to come and get us. I had fallen asleep, so 2 hours had gone by, and I realized that my car was gone, and so was Adam. Adam's been, let's see, when I met Adam 17 years ago, he had been sober for almost 15 years. And about 5 years into our relationship, he relapsed. And it has just been a spiraling well of disappointment and anger for the last 12 years. So anyway, he went to go deal with Stosh and give him some words of wisdom and tell him he loves him, and Mom would really like to see you come home and that kind of stuff. And he left and he never came home. When Cy called me, I immediately called him and his phone was off. So I had no location, I had no way to get a hold of him, and I had no way to go and get my child from the police. I spoke to the sergeant that was handling the situation with Cy and Maria, and I asked her, I didn't ask, I begged her to bring Cy home. Like, I'm without a vehicle, I'm pretty sure my partner's out looking for drugs. I was in tears. It was awful. So, anyway, 4 o'clock in the morning rolls around. I had just dozed off again. Remember, I partook in a little bit too much of the Lord's lettuce at the concert, so I was in and out of consciousness. Anyway, 4 o'clock in the morning rolls around. I'd been asleep for about an hour and a half, and the cops show up knocking on my door with my kid. So they dropped her off, pretty much told me what happened. They had got pulled over for drunk driving. There was an open container in the car, and Cy wasn't being charged with anything, but they were probably going to refer her to juvenile probation for a diversion plan. Okay, kid's home. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm awake. I went ahead and made a pot of coffee, and I sat there and I waited and waited for Adam to get home. At this point in his relapse, he would be gone all night, but then he would try to be home between 4 and 5 in the morning, to where I was just waking up. I'm sure that subconsciously for him it was the hope that I would still be sleeping. I guess he forgets when he's on drugs that I am up between 2 and 3 every morning. But anyway, he never came home. Never came home. 6 o'clock in the morning rolled around, and I was on the phone with the sheriff's department. I need to file a stolen vehicle charge. Well, we can't do it as a stolen vehicle because you allowed him to drive it. And we ended up filing unlawful usage, because he only had permission to go to this place, and then he never came back with my car. I had to call my mom. That was the most embarrassing. And I turned 40 last year, so for a 40-year-old woman to have to call her mom for help, it was the most embarrassing picked up on yet at this point that the spiritual journey and the mental healing journey go hand in hand. I hadn't discovered that yet. I'd been reading tarot for about 4 months, 5 months at this point. So I'm just, continuing to collect new tarot decks. I'm continuing to, do some readings with my girlfriend, Jen at the time, which she's going to be my girlfriend forever. She's like my soul twin. She amplifies my energy and I amplify her energy. We've been friends since I was 15 years old, believe it or not. So 25 years. 25 years. We've been friends for 25 years. And she used to work for my mom, and I babysat her son when he was a baby so that her and her husband could go do husband and wife things. And I was in high school, and she would buy me beer sometimes, or she would smoke me up sometimes, whatever. She was young. She was in her 20s, and I was like, she had to have been 25 because she's 10 years older than I am. But anyway, we're both babies, and I just absolutely adored having a friend who was older than me, who I could sought like sisterhood from, because I didn't have any sisters. I have 2 brothers. Anyway, so all of this shit happens at the end of August, and I'm still like reeling. I am just absolutely reeling for the next 2 months. So I'm just like absolutely just, this whole thing has got me fucked up. I've lost a friend. Now I have officially decided that Adam and my relationship is done and fucking over with. I've decided that 100%, but I've got all of these feelings about it because I had no emotional coping. I didn't have any healthy coping mechanisms at all. So if you could imagine a Leo completely in her shadow, and I was off the fucking rails for 2 months. October 20th. Now, for 2 days leading up to that, I had been seeing blue strobes flashing. I was trying to understand why Spirit was showing me these blue strobes, and the only thing that I could come up with was ascension symptoms, which I've gone through ascension symptoms so many times over the course of the last 40 years that to me it's nothing. I have a mild headache for a couple of days, stomach ache or whatever. My dreams are vivid and insane. Starting to have like open visions during the day. Like, I've been through the whole ascension process many, many, many times in the last 40 years. I was born into understanding the metaphysical kind of like, clairs and all of that since I was very, very little. I was born into this life. I have a very strong family heritage of spiritual gifts. So I've been seeing blue flashes for 2 days. So starting around the 18th of October, which is my dad's death anniversary. My mom's birthday's on the 19th, and then boom, on the 20th, I wake up, I have had a stroke. And that was when my awakening, like, I've been awake for years, but this was a whole brand new awakening. While I was laying in the hospital from this stroke, I literally saw the devil pop out. He started to walk toward me, and in the vision that I was having, he looked exactly like the devil guard, like the Baphomet card in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. he materialized, and I understood. Satan, get behind me. Satan, stand behind me. Like, you have no power here, bitch. Go back to where you came from. I'm done with you. Love and light, but be gone. And the rest is history. But it's been a year. It's been a year of incredible ups and downs. Like, we had that whole thing where I was having a nervous breakdown at work and had to come out to the car and do a whole video about how this is my journey, and even the strongest psychics can have bad days. We had that to where now, like, I don't even care anymore. I mean, like, I care, but I don't care to upset my peace. So my reaction to things is different because I don't want to upset my peace. And oh my God, let me tell you, for the unawakened narcissist, it looks like passive aggressive, but it feels so strong to them that even the act of looking through their phone and chuckling about the phone calls and the text messages that were made looks like passive aggressive behavior to them, and they just fucking lose their shit. It's hilarious. It is absolutely hilarious to be able to sit in complete and utter solace, being unbothered by their behavior, and it makes them so angry. When you can get to that point, what a wonderful gift that is. To be able to see how their reflection used to affect you, and being unbothered by it. It's incredible. So this week marks 1 year since the greatest awakening that I have experienced, and I keep being brought to the, Jesus walked the desert for 40 days. During the flood, it rained, and the earth opened up and expelled water forth for 40 days and 40 nights. 40 is such a transformative thing. It's where foundations are built and stability is found. And I think that if Christ had made it to 40 years instead of 33. Oh, I'm also being reminded that there's 7 years between the 33rd year and the 40th year. 7 years of tribulation. 7 years of tribulation. And then the new heaven and new earth. So 40 is a very, very important number. It's crucial. So look, I'm driving again. I'm so excited. I'm hoping, I'm wishing on a star, a wish in one hand and shit in the other, that my car is going to be finished this week, and they tell me that the motor's not blown. I mean, this has been 8 weeks of trying to figure out why this thing won't start, and we finally did figure out that the timing jumped, but it had all these sensor codes because the oil pressure controls the timing, and there was just all kinds of bad stuff wrong with my engine. So the timing was the last thing. So hopefully this week I get a phone call that says my cars back, and then I have the ultimate freedom back. Ultimate freedom. No asking nobody for shit. 9 of Pentacles, fully independent. That's what my birthday wish is this year.